What is child abuse and neglect? Child abuse is not just about black eyes. While physical abuse is shocking due to the marks it leaves, not all signs of child abuse are as obvious. Ignoring a child's needs, putting them in unsupervised, dangerous situations, exposing them to sexual situations, or making them feel worthless or not good are also forms of child abuse and neglect, and they can leave deep, lasting scars on kids. Regardless of the type of abuse, the result is serious emotional harm, but there is help available. If you suspect a child is suffering from abuse or neglect, it's important to speak out. By catching the problem as early as possible, both the child and the abuser can get the help they need. Effects of child abuse and neglect: lack of trust and relationships difficulties. If you can't trust your parents, who can you trust? Without this base, it's very difficult to learn to trust people or know who is trustworthy. This can lead to difficulty maintaining relationships in adulthood. It can also lead to unhealthy relationships because the adult doesn't know what a good relationship is. Trouble regulating emotions. Abused children cannot express emotions safely. As a result, the emotions get stuffed down, coming out in unexpected ways. Adult survivors of child abuse can struggle with unexplained injury, depression, or anger. They may turn to alcohol or drugs to numb out the painful feelings. Recognizing the different types of child abuse. Abusive behavior comes in many forms, but the common denominator is the emotional effect on the child. Whether the abuse is a slap, a harsh comment, stony silence, or not knowing if there will be dinner on the table, the end result is a child that feels unsafe, uncared for, and alone. Emotional abuse. Contrary to some people's beliefs, words can hurt, and emotional abuse can severely damage a child's mental health or social development. Examples of emotional abuse include constant belittling, shaming, and humiliating, calling names, and making negative comparisons to others, telling a child they are not good, worthless, bad, or a mistake, frequent yelling, threatening, or bullying, ignoring or rejecting a child as punishment, giving them the silent treatment, limiting physical contact with a child, no hugs, kisses, or other signs of affection, exposing a child to violence against others, whether it's against the other parents, a sibling, or even a pet. Child neglect. Neglect, a very common type of child abuse, is a pattern of failing to provide for a child's basic needs, which include adequate food, clothing, hygiene, or supervision. Child neglect is not always easy to spot. Sometimes a parent may become physically or mentally unable to care for a child, such as in cases of serious illness or injury, or untreated depression or anxiety. Other times, alcohol or drug abuse may seriously impair judgment and the ability to keep a child safe. Physical abuse. This involves physical harm or injury to the child. It may be the result of a deliberate attempt to hurt the child or excessive physical punishment. Many physically abusive parents insist that their actions are simply forms of discipline, ways to make children learn to behave. But there is a big difference between using physical punishment to discipline and physical abuse. Sexual abuse. Child sexual abuse is an especially complicated form of abuse because of its layers of guilt and shame. It's important to recognize that sexual abuse doesn't always involve body contact. Exposing a child to sexual situations or material is sexually abusive, whether or not touching is involved. Sexually abused children are often tormented by shame and guilt. They may feel that they are responsible for the abuse or somehow brought it upon themselves. This can lead to self-loathing and sexual and relationships problems as they grow older. Breaking the cycle of abuse. If you have a history of child abuse, having your own children can trigger strong memories and feelings that you may have repressed. You may be shocked and overwhelmed by your anger and feel like you can control it. But you can learn new ways to manage your emotions and break your old patterns. Remember, you are the most important person in your child's world, and you don't have to go it alone. Help and support are available. Learn what is age appropriate and what is not. Having realistic expectations of what children can handle at certain ages will help you avoid frustration and anger at normal child behavior. For example, newborns are not going to sleep through the night without PEEP, and toddlers are not going to be able to sit quietly for extended periods of time.